Hey friends, it's me, the Ebony Otaku, the well-rounded nerd. So it was spring break for our college folk this week, and they all decided to open a youth hostel in my house, which was perfectly fine. Did a lot of grilling, a lot of smoking. I had posted some pictures when I'm filming this because this is coming out way after any of this happened. But you know, I'm also a food nerd, so I'd be grilling, smoking, and all that kind of stuff. When I tell you they ate me out of house and home, it's fine. Then I cooked some food for some friends of ours too, just a take a meal kind of thing. But I did. I smoked them ribs twice for the youth group at church that I helped teach. They got smoked chicken wings the week before, and my family was like, well, "Why didn't you smoke us any?" So I went back and got some more and smoked chicken wings, and then I smoked salmon for me. And then we got some really nice fresh cheddar brats, smoked those, and then they just kept eating. So I cracked the smoker open for the third time and did a whole bunch of chicken legs, ribs again, corn. Like, it's been ridiculous. But everybody's fed and happy, and they're lucky I'm also a food and fire nerd. So, you know, all's well that's well. But the reason that matters is because Nerdy Family, this is what we do. We did a magic draft. And if you don't know what a magic draft is, well, buckle in. We're going to talk about it. So, Magic the Gathering is a deck building card game. If you're uninitiated, highly recommend watching an expert talk about the Magic. Not me, because I'm not an expert. When I played Magic growing up, it is a different game now. When I was getting reintroduced to it, I was like, am I dumb? Is this how this game always was? Apparently, I'm not dumb. The game did change, which makes me feel better because I was feeling stupid. I was like, what? Did we have all these rules back then? But no, the game's changed a lot, which is fine. I can't find any of my old decks or cards I had from when I was a teenager. I wish I did because there's probably some valuable cards in there. They got lost in one of my moves, so whatever. It happens. You can't take it with you anyway, so whatevs. But we chose a Lord of the Rings draft box. So what it is it's a big box of packs of cards. And they're not cheap. The box was like $150 for all these daggum cards. And then everybody takes a certain number of packs, so 3 packs apiece. We all open 1 pack at a time, and then we take a look at the cards, and you literally in the moment start building a deck. So you'll take a card, and then everyone passes their stack to the right. Then everybody takes a card from the next hand, passes. So as you're looking, you're trying to figure out in the moment, do you want to build a red deck, a green deck, a blue deck? Because I'll tell you what kind of mana you need. Do you like these spells, these characters? Do you think you could pop off some good combos? But you're doing it 1 card at a time. So after you go through the first pack and all the cards have been taken, then you go to the next pack. Everybody opens their next pack, and then you pass. Rip, rip, pass. You know? And we did that twice this week. We did it once with our college student who lives with us. And then stepdaughter and her boyfriend came into town, and they're both Magic kids. They're like pros. They're scary. I beat her one time. It'll never happen again. But we did a draft when she came into town, and then when her boyfriend showed up, we did another draft. So there was enough cards in there to do maybe 3 drafts if we had wanted to between us. There's 5 people, so if it 4 people, we could have done 3. We did 2, and then there's like 6 packs of cards left now, which I have a feeling the boy has laid claim to by now. And then we just bought another draft box today because apparently Fallout. No, it's not a draft box. It's the commander decks. So they released commander decks. So we have bought those as a family. And I think we're all going to pick the commander deck out of it that we want. But we did the Lord of the Rings draft box. So I just wanted to look at some of the cards with you because, again, when it comes to finding media from a particular property that you like, I love exposing people to the options. You know, like I love Warhammer, and what got me back into playing Magic were the Warhammer decks. I have 4 Warhammer Commander decks, and I love them. I've also got the Transformers Magic the Gathering cards, but there's not enough of those cards to make a whole deck. I wish there was. I wish they would. They do crossover properties. If they did, and I don't know why there's not an Adventure Time Commander deck. Adventure Time is perfect for Magic the Gathering. But we'll see. There are ways out there that you can make like custom cards and stuff. I just love it if they publish one and I could buy it. Like, I'm asking, I'll buy it. Me and a bunch of people. But we did LOTR, Lord of the Rings. And I just wanted to look at some of the cards because when you're just trying to find other stuff, it does help to see something familiar. in something new, because that's what keeps you interested and makes you want to learn the rules, want to learn how to play. So it's a combination of things that can attack. So ground troops, things that fly, vehicles, magical creatures, legendary creatures, and all of that. And then there are spells and things you can do to make them more powerful in the moment or more powerful throughout the game, or to take power from opponents. Everybody starts with a set number of points. In Commander, there's like battle damage and there's damage to your commander. In the game that we played, everybody started with 20 points or 20 life, and then as you got hit, the counter ticks down until a victor emerges. But I thought that these Lord of the Rings cards were really cool. Not just because of the artwork, but because of how they paid homage to Lord of the Rings. So if that's a property that you love, you might like these decks and it might get you interested in Magic. So let's start with just a basic creature. This is an Elf Scout. As you can see, he's looking real Legolas-y. But all the elves look the same, let's be real. But he, when his name is Galadrim, maybe I said that right, maybe I didn't, I don't know. But when he enters the battlefield, you can scry 2, which means you can look at top 2 cards of your deck. It'll tell you how many that you can scry. So basically you can spy on those cards and see if you want to draw those next for your next hand. And if you like them, you leave them there. If you don't, you can stick them at the bottom of your deck. That's a really cool advantage to get. Another one, let's see here, someone y'all will recognize. Oh, this is an Elf Noble. So the elves are green, obviously. You want to build your mana, which gives you the ability to summon creatures, cast spells. You build your mana in accordance with the color of types of creature cards and spell cards you're using. So this is an Elf Noble. This is Glorfindel, the Dauntless Rescuer. And so this is where you start building and the rules get real weird and stuff. So that last card said that I could scry 2. So if I had this card out first, that let me peek at my deck. This one says, whenever you scry, choose 1, and Glorfindel, the Dauntless, gets a +1/+1 until the end of the turn. So if I had this card out and then I scried, and then I put this one out, this card actually becomes more powerful simply because I drew 2 cards and got to look at them. So it can get really interesting because the rules build on each other. Because then you have stuff like instants, something that happens immediately. Some stuff you've got to be able to have enough mana and summon. You got to wait till the next turn to use it. Because if you draw a creature that could attack, you typically, unless it says you can do it now, you have to wait until the next turn comes around to actually use that particular creature because they've got like the blight on them. There's a word for it, and I've forgotten what it is, and someone's going to put it in the comments. But most of your creatures can't be used until the next round. But this instance says up to 2 target creatures each get +2/+1 till the end of turn and create a food token. And you can typically sacrifice those tokens to get more life or something like that. But this one's called Second Breakfast, and you get a food token. How cute is that? Is that not just the best thing ever? What's something else? Oh, here is a legendary halfling. This is cool, and it's green. So this is Meriadoc Brandybuck. I can say Brandybuck. Legendary creature, halfling citizen, so a hobbit. Whenever one or more halflings you control attack a player, create a food token. So the hobbits get you food and give you life. Like, that's a cute card, don't we think? Yeah, she's cool. I like her. What else we got here that looks cool? Oh, this is fun. Gimli's Axe. So this is an artifact, which means I can take this weapon, this artifact, whatever it is, and equip it. So if it sounds like a lot of video game terminology, it kind of is. So if you think of it like playing a video game, makes learning the game a little bit easier. But I can take this artifact and equip it to one of my creatures. And yes, creatures can be humans or mythical beasts, whatever they are. But if I equip it, then now that creature gets +3 to their ability. So if I had like a creature that was a 2/1, which means it was strong enough to hit for 2 points, but if you hit it for 1 point, it dies. Well, now it gets a +3. So that makes it a 5 that is swinging instead of just a 2. So that would be a really good card to try. I was starting to build a red deck. The first time we played earlier in the week, I built a white and black deck, and I killed with that deck. I did so good. And then this one, I decided to do 3 colors. I did, and that was a mistake. I did red, blue, and green. And I have my mana balance, but it's all luck of the draw. And none of my red mana ever came up, so I could never bring any of those cards out. And those are my best cards, so I was kind of bad. Here's another creature. You got the Arachnophobia look away. The spider. It's one of Shelob's babies, probably. Nope. Nope, this is a Mirkwood spider. It says there at the top. You can't see it. These are sleeved. Part of our process is we sleeve them when we build our deck. But whenever Mirkwood spider attacks, target legendary creature you control gains death touch until the end of turn. So if I had a legendary creature out like that little hobbit that I just showed you, and then I play this, that means that hobbit now has death touch, which means basically no one can defend against that card. That's kind of fun. Who else we got? Let's see. We've already seen one of you. Are there going to be duplicates? Absolutely. One of the things the youngins did is we did, trading of cards at the end, because the goal in draft, you build a deck of 40, so 27 creatures and all that to play with, and then we just add land in, basic land, none of the fancy lands in draft. But they took all the cards. They're building a Lord of the Rings commander deck, my stepdaughter and her boyfriend, and we're generous. We can buy more cards, so we just let them take the cards they wanted. But here's one, a tree folk. So that would be not quite akin to the Ints. They stay in place. Ints walk, tree folk don't. But this one is an Enrage Huoron. And they have trample, which means they can run you down. When Enrage enters the battlefield, the ring tempts you. So that's another cool thing about this game. So if the ring tempts you, the one ring to rule them all, that ring, that means you now gain special abilities as each turn goes around. So that makes it kind of cool. Let's see. Let me get you a really good one here. What we got? Someone good and oh, the Oliphants. Remember those? Legolas slid down one. It only counts as one. Of course, they have trample. They are a 6/4. Good God, they take 6 mana to cast. You're never getting them out. Whenever an Oliphant attacks another target creature you control, gets +2 and gains trample. Wow. So not even just when you lay them down, because some of those really cool things only happen once. This one is every time you use them. So that, I should have just done a red deck. I started with red. I don't know why I didn't stick with red. I should have just stuck with red and things would have been great. But I wanted flyers. That's what happened. I was like, oh, I need flyers so I can block. Because it's hard for people to block flyers typically, because you usually need a flyer to block a flyer. So I kind of pigeonholed myself in, but it's fine. We had fun. We had a great time. It's really about just having ways to spend time with the kids and have fun. So if you're like, man, you have a lot of cards. So since I haven't played Magic in a while, basically I got all the cards at the end. Oh, this is a good one. This is a shiny. Shiny means the card is literally shiny. So this one, see, it's kind of iridescent. Yeah, that's fun. This one's called Shelob's Ambush, so that is the big old spider. So this is an instant, so it can only be used once. So once you lay it down, you got to do whatever the thing is. Target creature gets +1/+2 and gains death touch until end of turn. Ooh, and I get a food token from her. Well, obviously, that's what she does. Wow. It's an artifact, and I can sacrifice that artifact to get 3 life. So this is a dangerous card. So if you lose life, this is a card, well, it's dangerous to the other players, because if I was to put this one down, once I'm done with my turn, I get 2 life if I do all the things that are listed there. Oh, here's another one. So here's an Int. This is really pretty. This is Intish Restoration, and it is also a shiny. You see that iridescence to it? So there's an Int there. It's also an instant, and you can sacrifice a land and search your library for up to 2 basic land cards and put them into the battlefield tapped, and then I can shuffle. That's cool. So you could basically get extra mana this way. So that's cool. Here's a character I know you're going to recognize. So, oh, that's her last name. Arwen Udomiel. We know who Arwen is. Now, I was trying to see if she looked Liv Tyler in the face, because she plays Arwen in the movie, which Arwen in the book is in there for like 8 seconds. They drug her out, but I'm fine with that. They needed a girl. It was quite the sausage fest without her. Let's see here. I think she is referencing Liv Tyler. Can we get her focus? Focus. There we go. I see it. Do you see it? I see it. So she's a legendary creature. So that means if I was building a commander deck, because she's legendary, she could be the commander of my deck. She's only a 2/2. She weak as AF. But whenever you scry, you get a +1/+1 on your other creatures. So that's kind of good. Ooh, Escape from Orthanc. So remember Gandalf gets on top of the eagle. I wonder which eagle was that? I know his name. Anyway, it'll come to me as soon as I'm done with this. Gwahir. His name is Gwahir. But, oh, it's a shiny Escape from Orthanc. Do you see the little Gandalf on top? Do you see him? There he is. There's your little Ian McKellen. Target creature gets +1/+3 and gains flying until the end of turn. Then you untap it. So that's cool. Because now you get an instant flyer. So if you're attacking your opponents with a card that doesn't fly, you now have a flyer that protects. So you can build up really cool. Oh, nice. Here's a good one. So it was really cool of them to let me have all the cards. I am going to build a commander deck out of this. I 100% am. But it's going to take me some time because I want to go through all the cards and see what I want. Like my Warhammer decks are pre-built. So they came as commanders with their commanders assigned and all of that. This one I get to make the choices. So I can read all the cards and figure out like how to stack them together. And maybe I'll do a video of it. I might do that. I haven't done any lives yet. So maybe I'll do a live where I build my deck. Once I get my new computer in a few weeks, I'll definitely be doing some live game streaming. But this will be a fun live to go through, read the cards, and build them. Then I do two things at once. But anyway, our Éowyn, a fearless knight, of course she is. I can't be killed by any man. I am no man. Anyway, best line ever. When an Éowyn, the fearless knight, enters the battlefield, exile target creature an opponent controls with greater power. Ooh. So I can take a more powerful creature and send them to the graveyard, which sounds great unless they've got a black deck and they can just bring them back. Legendary creature you control gains protection from each of that creature's colors until the end of turn. Oh man, that's a good one. That's a good one. So see, this is that Escape from Orthanc, not shiny. So there's no glare in the camera, so there's the benefit. Anything else interesting? Just all these fun references. So what I do love, it's kind of like with Warhammer, honestly, like the consistency of the universe. Like I appreciate that whoever created these decks paid attention to the Lord of the Rings universe. There's an incident here called Slip on the Ring. And look, it's the scene where the ring first falls onto Frodo's hand and he realizes he can go invisible. Exile target creature you own, then return it to the battlefield under your control. The ring tempts you. Ooh. That's a good one. Anything else in here? No. That the Dunedain Blade, that's a cool one. Sometimes your lands don't just look basic, sometimes you get a pretty land. They're still basic lands, they're just pretty. Flip, these are upside down in my hand. Oh, here's Frodo. Frodo is Sauron's Bane. He is a 1/2, so he weak. He's a legendary creature, so Frodo could be your commander if you use this for a commander deck. If Frodo, Sauron's Bane, is a citizen, it becomes a halfling scout with base power and toughness of 2/3 and lifelink. So you gotta have some other things going on to make Frodo stronger. You need Sam. That's what you need. You need Sam. If Frodo is a scout, it becomes a halfling rogue. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game if the ring has tempted you 4 or more times. Otherwise, the ring tempts you. Ooh, that could be bad for the other players. Oh. Yeah, these are great. Oh, here's another Éowyn. So this one's different than the last one we looked at. This is Éowyn as a Lady of Rohan. So this is her as a shield maiden of Rohan. Also, a legendary creature, human noble. She's a 2/4, so she can take more damage than she deals. But that's okay, because she probably can do something awesome. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature gains your choice of First Strike or Vigilance until end of turn. If that creature is equipped, it gains First Strike and Vigilance until end of turn instead. Equip abilities, you activate, it costs me a mana to use that. So there's just some really cool in here. We have Isildur's Fateful Strike. We have Nasty End, which the art is Smeagol jumping on somebody to cut his throat. I love the detail that they put you back into the world that they've partnered with. You know, a scarecrow from the Shire. Like you can see yourself in the Shire. The Mirror of Galadriel's in here. Denethor is in here as a legendary creature. There's a sorcery spell here called Now for Wrath, Now for Ruin. So like one of those battle cries of the humans. So just love it. Gwahir is in here as a legendary creature, you know, so that's the king of the eagles basically. You cannot pass is an instant. So I love this because if you're not into Magic the Gathering, I'm not saying you have to be. I'm just out in here presenting you with the options while I restack all of these stinking cards. But just know that a lot of the properties out there with the crossovers, like say you've got a significant other or friend. This is a little bit of a dating advice for the video. Like maybe you got a significant other who's real into the Magic, but you're not. I get it. Honestly, I only got back into it because my husband plays. I mean, the whole family plays. So if I was going to spend time with him, I was going to learn to play Magic. Like sometimes you just learn things so that you can spend time with people. And it does not betray your sense of self to be selfless. There's your lesson for the day. But if, you know, something is not quite your cup of tea, put a little sugar in it. And make it taste the way you want. So for me, getting to play this game with properties that I was already interested in, that actually makes it more fun. Because now it's fun to see how they made use of these characters and creatures that I'm so familiar with in a different context. How they get them to show up. It's really cool. So I hope I'm gathering cards if you're wondering what I'm doing. I'm just stacking them back up and I've got to stick them in a box until I get time to build a commander deck out of these because there's still 6 more packs of cards to open. And I'm going to claim them and then discard the leftovers. But yeah, so it's an option. Because like if you're not into it, like say they really want to play Magic but they're not into it, do you like dragons? There's a dragon pre-con commander deck. What are the ones we're getting today? I said it at the beginning of the video. Fallout just came out with deck partnership. There's the 40k decks. Find one they're interested in, like another property, and then play the game because then they get to have the fun of learning the game, but learning it with characters they already like, and then everybody's a little bit happier. Makes it fun. Now, if you're super competitive with Magic, don't advise that to be your first date. Because y'all yell. Like, I thought the Fortniters yelled a lot. You Magic people, anytime I've witnessed a Magic tournament, oh God, there's a lot going on. But, as usual, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I shall see you in the next one.